this is about to be a fucking Rogan-esque pod.
Bring up the animal attack videos.
Yeah, I got them queued up. So, okay, wait. So a lot's going on with you.
Sure. Yeah.
Also, if you could just show your feet for a quick second.
Oh, right. That's the thing in the...
I'm learning Metcalf took his sock completely off last time, and the views fucking skyrocketed.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not that confident that my feet will do that for you, but
It's
I'll
fine.
show you that. I mean, I got a fantastic blue sock on right now.
It's a great sock. I mean, they will comment about your socks.
Okay.
So
let me know
let them decide.
Yeah, I got them in all colors. If you have a request, I'll come back next ep and, we'll workshop this.
This is going to be the first podcast on Feet Finder. I'll tell you that much.
Feet Finder. Didn't know that was a thing.
You didn't know that was a thing?
I don't know what Feet Finder is.
It's that's like that's the new OnlyFans.
Feet Finder?
Feet Finder.
Is it like a search and rescue, like a hunt? Like you got to hunt them?
Yeah. What happens is it's for people with severe diabetes.
Oh, so it's like a registry. Like when you need a new heart, there's like a transplant list.
They actually take your feet before they cut them off, take a picture, turn it as an NFT.
Oh wow! Oh, that's
so your feet are found on chain.
Oh, that's great, and that's gonna have value someday. I've heard.
Right. Well, you'll probably die by the next bull market, so
probably. So
it doesn't matter. But how have you been?
As good as sober gets.
Wait, you're sober?
No, I am right now. So, yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh, is that no good?
That turned into like a really uplifting story.
Is that no good?
You're like as good as sober can get.
As good as sober gets.
What's in that cup?
That's I went to your Starbucks over here.
Wait, which one you go to?
That's the hole in the wall and the in between of.
In the hotel?
Sure. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, the worst.
It's I got a green tea, and then they asked me, do you want this green tea? And I was like, oh, here we go. And I said, sure, because that was all they had. And then this has never happened to me. They put the scalding hot water that's going to burn your face off.
Yeah.
I go and of course I'm going to take a sip. Barely anything. It's not hot at all.
Lukewarm tea?
Lukewarm on the thing, which means that it's not going to steep properly.
No.
It's not going to steep. So now I got a weak, and whatever tea that they suggested as the alternative, it was shit. It's a shit.
What was the alternative? I didn't know there was more than one green tea. Arizona?
I would have rather had that.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Bumping up to 150, I hear. But
hey, Dad.
But yeah, I don't even remember what name she said. But I was like, it's gonna be the same green tea, I guess, but it's the knockoff fucking plastic bag cereal sort of
Yeah.
brand. It's gross.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
You're a Starbucks in a hotel.
You would think if you can afford a Starbucks in your hotel, it's probably nice. No, it's trash. You got
Starbucks trash. Call us in.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Dunkin' is trash.
They're the same thing. Dunkin's better.
Starbucks and Dunkin'.
Dunkin' is better than Starbucks.
I like Dunkin' hot coffee better, but I like Starbucks cold brew better. Hot take.
This kid who rides his bike in the rain really has a palate for coffee.
I've tried them all, okay? And that's but you know what I've been doing lately, just because it's right by my house there on Metropolitan, is the $1 McDonald's. You can't go wrong.
I mean, you can't do anything wrong with McDonald's.
With the $1 hot coffee, I'll get it every day.
Yeah, why not? Oh, McDonald's. I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah,
I live like 2 blocks from there. So.
Yeah, so you live, okay, when's the last time I saw you? A month ago? Just a month and a half ago? December.
I had moved since then, yeah.
I moved to Astoria and back
in
2 months?
I moved back in July, whenever my lease ended.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I lived in a 1-bedroom, and then I had to move because something happened. No, I went through a breakup, and I couldn't afford the place anymore in Astoria.
I thought you lived in Ridgewood.
We did. That was like our COVID apartment. And then we were planning to move because we shared that with a third person. And then
hold on.
Yeah, it was me, my girlfriend, and then another person.
And Mike.
And no, it was some guy. No, it was a lady named Lauren.
You knew her?
Huh? Yeah, I used to work. She was a coworker. It was a whole thing. Anyway, she got scared of COVID. She moved.
Okay.
She moved. It was one of those I'm gonna go down south for COVID, and then she's like, I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
And then we were like, well, it was still in the middle of COVID, so we were like, are we more likely to find an empty place or to get a person to move in with us, which at that time seemed crazy. Like nobody would have done that.
Right.
So we found a place in Astoria.
Okay.
And then we broke up, and then I couldn't pay for it.
Right.
And so I was looking for an apartment with a buddy, and we just so happened to find an apartment on the exact same block. So every day when I go home, I walk past my old apartment where memories and love was shared once.
Yeah, well, and not anymore.
And not anymore. I'll tell you what, though. I see the people who live there now, and they did such a bang-up job with the place.
It looks good.
It looks so amazing.
Oh, that's nice.
Christmas time, they had a tree in the window.
Yes.
They had, like, the lights going around the
fire escape?
No, like, around each. It was a very well lit, a ton of windows. We didn't do anything with this fucking apartment. It was beautiful.
Yeah, you were in a loveless relationship.
Yeah, so
you were in prison.
So you would think I would decorate it then. But
Well,
no,
it was a heterosexual relationship, correct?
that's true. But I like a little bit of flair. I mean,
You are wearing a purple hat and blue socks.
have you ever seen a purple Yankees hat?
No, I loved it. I told you the first
I
thing
rest
when you
my
walked
case.
through the apartment, I said
I
that's a
rest my
beautiful
case.
hat.
You're gonna comment on my socks? Comment on the hat, folks. I mean,
well,
come with the underneath.
Unfortunately, that's a fetish for no one.
Get out of here. Well, we'll see. Feet finder.
Come on.
So I live back there with an ex coworker.
The van kid.
The van guy. That's van guy. He'd be very happy we're shouting him out. And fuck, I should know his handle. NYC Van Life. Kid lives out of his van.
Oh,
Used
it's
to.
exactly what you think it would be.
Yeah. It's not as glamorous as most people might
Imagine.
think. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
there's like all these, hot twig Instagram chicks who like live in a van and they have like a plant in there and they got some guy to build it for them and they probably paid $100K for it. Like what people pay just for the build,
Sure.
unbelievable.
Of the build of the van.
Of the van.
Are you talking the build of the van? We're not talking about. I think this is the same conversation we had last time. We're not talking about the van.
No.
Because when you say that, that's what I think.
No. They purchase the van independently.
Right.
And then they bring it to the shop to have all the shit done.
Yes.
And that's what costs so much fucking money.
Right.
They basically purchase another van.
Yes.
In
But it's less than rent, or is it not?
Yeah, but what are you paying for? I mean, it's less than rent.
I don't know. I'm not a van guy.
Right. You're right. You're paying your rent payment is your car, but you also, shit in a gym and shower in a gym and live on the street. So
You're just making that sound pretty good.
it's not bad.
Depending on the gym.
Yeah, right.
You realize you're describing Jake Velazquez's life?
What are you talking about? He lives in like a fucking penthouse, doesn't he?
It's his grandfather's apartment. He sleeps on Bramante's air mattress in his grandfather's apartment.
Is Bramante there too?
No. I know, it's confusing, right? Yes, for those that listened to that episode, which wasn't many. It was confusing. No, Bramante provided his air mattress to Velazquez. Velazquez pumps it up in his grandfather's living room, which is on the Upper West Side.
Okay.
His name's not on the lease until his grandfather dies. Then he takes it over. So in the meantime, he has his car that he drives between the Upper West Side and Riverdale, where his mom lives. But what he does all day is not work. So what does he do? He goes to Equinox on the Upper East Side with Bramante every day.
Wow. Yeah. No wonder it's hard to bring a girl back. I mean, it's.
He claims to not have a problem, and he doesn't bring him back to his place.
Oh, right. He's not like, hold on, hang in the kitchen for a second. And he's blowing up the air mattress in the living room. Like,
Yeah, when's the last time you blew up an air mattress?
I don't know.
What is that, an Amish air mattress?
That was a foot pump. I get, yeah. What air mattress did you have growing up?
None. I wasn't poor.
Well, folks.
Well, that's awesome. Let's put an asterisk next to that. I just
Yeah.
slept. This is a fact. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
I could sleep on any surface.
I feel like, yeah, I'm right there.
Like
with you.
I could go on this floor right now and just fall asleep. Zero problem.
I did it the other last month at Bo and Ted's apartment. I was staying there.
Why? They don't live far. You have a bike.
Yeah, there was some extenuating circumstances. I think I had just been drinking a ton, and it was probably raining and we were like having a whole to do, and they didn't have they just moved in recently, and the person who moved
what
out,
Mike have?
yeah, they didn't have a couch yet, so I just had the floor, and so they like laid a sheet down, and
On
then
the floor.
on the like a hardwood floor, and then I just like a zombie just knocked out.
What was the purpose of the sheet?
I guess just a barrier between where everyone walks and
that's
to
good.
make me feel good inside.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. You're all 29 years old, right? Well, Ted's younger.
Yeah, 29, and I'm sleeping on the floor. So
Okay. But purple hat.
things are going great, folks. I got my priorities. You know, just it's all
Green tea, purple hat.
What more could you? I mean,
Purple
listen.
heart.
I see these people who have like they got jobs and apartments, and I don't even envy them anymore because I've so removed from it that I don't relate to them.
You're removed from apartments?
No, like the nice high quality. I know a polo. I don't even know if polo's nice anymore.
No, it's not. That's how you know you haven't had money in a while.
Right.
You're wearing the same outfit as like every delivery guy right now.
Yeah, they've moved up to polo.
Oh, exclusively.
Well, I don't.
Did you not grow up with Indian kids?
No, actually.
Oh,
No.
really?
No.
Yeah, big in like the Southeast Asian community. Polo.
Okay. Well, good to know.
There you go.
But I saw a guy had like a nice fitted like pea coat, and he had the scarf wrapped around and then tucked into the pea coat.
Cunt.
And I wanted to walk up to him and be like, "Are you being serious with this?" You know what I mean? Like, is this a real look?
That is a step too far in classiness. Unless you're like
yeah,
Princess Diana.
right. But even it's just it just looks dumb. But I know from that look he is projecting wealth. I know you have a nice apartment. There's no way you walk out of a shitbox apartment tucking a scarf into a peacoat. It just doesn't happen.
How great would it be if you saw him? He was walking down the street all tucked in, and he walked right into the same open mic.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's getting dressed in like there's like a janky dirty mirror that's on the floor.
Yes.
And then his keys are on like a hook that's command stripped to the wall, you know, and he takes those off, and then he's got a dirty microwave, one of those.
He lives in a van.
Yeah, he
put all the money into the coat.
lives in a van.
It's not even a nice scarf.
Yeah, he ignored the check oil sign. He's like, I got to get the scarf.
Well, he never drove it.
No. There's places where you can just park. You just got to find them. You don't have to move.
I would assume you're in a community. No one just like joins the van community. You got to know someone in it.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, if you look for them, they're actually a very accepting group. They're pretty open.
Well, you would think they're not dicks.
Right. It's kind of just like there's another person doing it too.
Right.
Holy shit.
That's another person with a gym pass.
Yeah. Well, it's a big like they all want to compare shit. I helped them. This is how they like compare shit on their van. Like, oh, he's got the 28 liter on the.
So basically every day, if you live in a van, is a car meet.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's exhausting.
Pretty much. I helped. So my buddy runs a YouTube channel, and this is the piece of content that I was helping him film. We went down to this alley where they all live, and
wait, they live in an alley?
There's an alley in Williamsburg that's like a dead end next to like this park.
There's a van alley?
That's exactly what it's called. It's called Van Alley.
Well, by the name of his Instagram, they're not very creative
There's
people.
T-shirts as well. Van Alley.
Are there really?
Yeah.
Wow, they got merch.
Yeah, but so what they did recently was they all banded together as a community, and there was like a bunch of trash on the street that had just like drifted down because of the rain or whatever, and they all cleaned up the street.
I thought you were going to say they kicked out all the black people.
They kicked out. There were a suspiciously low amount of, but there was one.
No, black people are too smart. This is an exclusively white person thing.
It's a very white. Well, the black guy actually lived in a school bus. Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
That's nice.
Yeah. If he like turned out a bus and took the seats out and shit, and it's a pretty serious operation. But at that point, it's an apartment. Just get a fucking apartment.
Right.
What are you doing?
What's the insurance on a school bus?
I don't.
They're not getting insurance.
Probably. I mean, there's car insurance, but it's just like if you get into an accident, your whole life is gone. Your whole life. It's like if you got into a car accident and at the same time, like as soon as you got into a car accident, you knew that your house just burned down. That's kind of
at the same time.
At the same time. That's exactly what it is.
I guess that's a good thing about a trailer park. You can't crash the trailer.
No. Yeah.
Right?
Well, I don't think they let you leave. Once you move into a trailer park, that's kind of where you stop.
Well, very rarely do you go into a trailer park as someone that's like living there and then do better.
Yeah, I think
it is a comfortable. My grandparents lived in a trailer in Florida.
Really?
It's a comfortable way to live.
I'm sure it's like it's upscale camping all the time.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's camping with shag carpeting.
Yeah, I guess so. If that sounds, shag's good until like there's stuff that falls on the floor and then you're walking around barefoot and you snag your toe.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
I'm with you on that.
I grew up with shag.
I could tell. Yeah.
It's for shag carpeting.
Okay.
Just to you run the vacuum over and all of a sudden you hear and then like the vacuum just fucking kinks out because you ran over a nail or something.
Yeah. Nothing says I bought a house in the 70s. Like your kid in 1999 knowing what shag carpeting feels like.
Oh, dude. And I had to then when they remodeled, I had to remove the carpeting. I had to remove wallpaper. You ever remove wallpaper?
No, because I'm not El Salvadorian.
One of the hardest processes I've ever done.
Removing the wallpaper?
Because when you put it up, it's meant to not be removed. It's supposed to stay there so your walls don't fucking peel. So the stick is you basically have to like spray this shit on it. You have to soak it so the stickiness goes away. And then you take this scraper and you just have to scrape the whole wall and slowly peel it away. And I did this when I was like 10 years old. I was, just doing grunt work. It was horrible.
Why were you doing this at 10 years old?
Because my dad didn't want to do it. He had other stuff to do.
He had other stuff to do. What did he have to do? Hang a chandelier? What, he couldn't.
He was downstairs painting the walls purple and shit.
What the hat?
Exactly. He had other stuff going on. I don't know. Just going out stealing signs. It's a big.
Your dad stole signs?
Oh yeah. Yeah, all the time.
No, this isn't.
This isn't normal.
You're going to need to elaborate a bit.
Well, it started with like he was a big.
It started.
Well,
you were born when it started. Like you were born conscious, and then it started.
It didn't happen before I was. It was post me, but it was one. It's one of my early memories, like coming online. Is
coming online
like that? Like when you first start having memories.
Okay,
that's what I'd call it.
Sure.
But you ever see like a sign with your name on it?
I mean, there's not many.
There's not Rich Road or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there's not many Yarishes either.
No. I think it was a first name thing.
Oh, okay. I did see it like you go into a gift shop and they have a little license plate with your name. I've seen that.
Something like that.
Is that the same?
Ish. But you wouldn't hang that up on a wall. Yar. Right.
Bar.
So that car. Was it Toyota had a Yaris? Yaris. Yeah. Just fucking rip one of the things off of that.
Because it was close enough.
It's close enough. It's close enough.
God, that's when you know you have a problem.
Yeah. But then it just became about like stealing. Like I remember one time he drove a no roof Jeep Wrangler with no doors, which like the small small Jeep.
Yeah, I'm getting it in my head.
And it was like a parking garage. He was leaving a parking garage, and there was a giant exit sign, and he just like snapped the two chains
as he's driving.
As you park, stand up in the car, snap it, and then just throw the exit sign in the back.
He's like a white trash Jason Bourne.
Yeah. It was a whole operation, and he got away with it.
But what you do with that now?
They were hung up in my room and stuff.
You hung up stolen street signs in your room?
Yeah.
So much about you is making sense now.
Yeah, my brother had the exit sign for a while. I think I may have had a stop sign in my room. This was like the decor this was considered decor in my house.
Stolen street signs.
Stolen street signs.
I think your dad just put up wallpaper once, and he said, "We're stealing signs now. Fuck this."
I mean, kinda, yeah. I think he thought it looked cool because he would also hang up.
He'd also hang up kiss posters.
we had a collage of license plates, like old license plates. He just kept those, and then just put those up on our wall.
But he stole them. He didn't buy them.
Probably. Well, it's hard to steal a license. I think because back in the day, you were allowed to keep your license plate.
Yes.
So I think they're all Jersey, so I assume they were his. And so
you only had old Jersey license plates?
Yeah.
There's only a finite amount of variations.
I mean, well, I guess he had a shit ton of cars. I don't know if you get a new car, you need a new plate, or how that works. He had a shit ton of plates. Maybe he stole them. I don't know. We never had that conversation.
But they were all pretty similar.
Yeah. They all like looked.
So you just had a collection of old license plates.
Oh, yeah.
They're not collector's items.
No, but my dad would collect stuff that wasn't collector's items too. Like another thing that I just grew up with was Playboy magazines. Stacks and stacks and stacks of Playboys in the house. All around that. Like in our bathroom, instead of like having good housekeeping or something, we just had stacks of Playboys in the bathroom. And above the toilet in like the main, like the bathroom off the living room, we had the 50th anniversary of Playboy framed in a shadow box above the toilet. Okay.
Very nice. And when did your dad tell you how to hit a woman?
No, I mean, there was a reverence there. I mean, you don't hang something up in a shadow box if there's pride in that, I guess is the word.
No. James Cameron hangs the Titanic movie poster like that. Not your garbage dad putting up the 50th anniversary of Playboy on top of your toilet.
But you know what it was? It was a good conversation starter. And like
how many people are you in the bathroom with?
No,
where you're making conversation.
No. It's like, hey, where's your bathroom? They go in the bathroom. You sit down to take a shit or whatever. You start looking around, and you're like, oh, there's Playboys and thing. And then you get up. Holy shit, the 50th. And then you come out. Always the first thing out of their mouth is like, you got the 50th anniversary Playboy in the yeah, sure. And then I take them downstairs. We had the archives.
That's where we had the women trapped.
Once we get past that, the cages, we had. Going back to the 90s, just like stacks of stuff of Playboys. I had the Lindsay Lohan one. A lot of good stuff. And then I took a stack for myself when I went to college, and then I continued the tradition.
You took a stack for yourself? What? You're talking about it like it's a 12-pack. Yeah, I took some, brought to college with me.
Well, because I liked how people reacted when they saw it. So I was like, I want that for my
You were the Playboy kid?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dude, that's the most garbage kid. You might as well have been selling loose cigarettes.
You know what I love to say too? I love to say, honestly, I just read them for the jokes. Yeah. I love saying that. I love to be like, they actually have some good articles in there. That's a
good one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be like, there's a Jake Gyllenhaal is a great interview on the, if you just skip past the center page tits. The center page.
Do you still read it?
No, the ones from college.
Well, they stopped making them, right?
I think
the physical copies.
I think so. Yeah. It's such a shame. I don't know where they all went. I mean, when we were clearing out his house, there was like, I think I definitely wanted to keep them, but it was a point like I'm already keeping so much shit. It's like I don't have the fucking room for it, and
right.
I'm like, what am I gonna? At the time, I lived with a lady, and I'm like, what are we gonna put? What am I going to do with at least 40 Playboy magazines? You know what I mean? It takes up space.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Your dad figured it out.
He did. Well, he had a basement, he had a whole house. You could spread them out throughout the house. Every like.
Do you think if I go to that house right now and I punch into the wall, There's Playboys in the wall.
No, there's
It's like Goodfellas with the money.
Yeah. Yeah. He came home. Taylor, what did you do with the Playboy? That's all we had.
Your mom's flushing them down the toilet.
I'm like, Dad,
the helicopters are over here.
the cops were going to find. They would have never found it. What was I supposed to do? I'm sure that house probably looks. I mean, kids would be. Their brains would be scrambled when they would come over that house.
Yeah, because that's fucking weird, dude.
Yeah. I mean, so the main level bathroom had a bunch of Playboys. The upstairs bathroom, have you ever seen like those old, it was decorated, the theme was like those original like Coke advertisements, Coca-Cola advertisements.
Have themes?
Because
a house having themed rooms is
Each
so
theme-
fucking trash.
it's like Willy Wonka, now we're in this room. Now we're in
and
this
one
room.
kid got lost every time.
So the upstairs bathroom was like old vintage Coca-Cola. So the towels and the shower curtain was like an old Coca-Cola thing, and we had one of those tin Coca-Cola boxes that it would keep, soap or whatever in.
Sure.
So what most people would use as a dining room, we didn't really do that. We just ate at the kitchen counter. So
Stop. As a family, you ate at the kitchen counter.
well, by that time the I mean, it was
Like detectives trying to solve a case during overtime.
Yeah, it was like, the counter, or the bar, whatever, with stools. And when we would go over there, he'd be coming home from work and he doesn't want to cook. So he cooks all day, so he would just take takeout. So most of the meals that I had at my dad's house were like amazing food out of plastic takeout containers. So it was just, all
Yeah. I think that's borderline because your dad didn't make it.
right.
So it's
it's great food, but
it's classy. I'm gonna say that's classy.
Like I'm cutting duck with to-go silverware.
Right. Oh, God, that's such a fun. That describes you so well. Is cutting duck with plastic cutlery.
Yeah, that was just like I cut and I had to. It was like you can't leave until you finish your duck.
Your crudité.
Yeah,
Wait, you don't eat crudité, do you?
crudité. That's no, that's like the vegetable fucking bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what I
that to the
thought of
side.
was potpourri.
Potpourri. Yeah, you definitely
A lot of
don't-
bathroom
Definitely
talk.
don't eat that. So we wouldn't do that because what was the dining room? Another thing we had growing up, we had 2 iguanas.
Okay. So if Mom, I'm going to Taylor's house after school. Okay.
Yeah.
And I come home and I go, okay. Do you have a cigarette?
Oh.
We got to talk about. There's Playboys and iguanas.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried to talk about this. Like, it's just nobody buys in because it's just like, all right. Because
I've known you for 7 years. You've never once tried talking about this.
Yeah, well, I want to keep my friends.
Not back then, you didn't.
So we had 2 iguanas that lived in like these like big kind of cage tower looking things.
Okay.
And there were 2 of them, and so we were like, well, we're not going to have meals in here, so we just went full into it and we turned it into an iguana room. And so we painted the walls like deep, like dark forest green, and then lining the walls was fake kind of greenery and like vines and shit that hung down over the on the walls and shit. And so we had the 2 iguanas and then a giant snake cage with an anaconda in it. That was our dining room. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot. I know.
And do you realize that you gave these iguanas, by scale, more living space than you had?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it was a good cage too. Like it had levels. They could climb up. It was like a 3-story kind of level thing going on.
Okay.
And we had one named Iggy.
They had a
and then-
lofted cage.
Yeah, they had a lofted cage, and then Godzilla, who was missing his front thing. He had a nub.
You had a nubbed iguana
nubbed iguana
in your porn coke house?
Oh yeah. Oh, we can keep going on the themes.
There's more rooms?
There's more rooms.
How are there more rooms?
So I'll end with the basement because that's the one that nobody believes. So
No one believes the basement.
so
What is it? You're not gonna believe it. New York Giants.
so in like I guess
Wait,
what would
where did you get the iguanas?
like a pet store. This is Maryland, so they sold them at pet
Wait,
stores.
so this is in Maryland,
This
not
is in Maryland,
Jersey.
not in Jersey. I didn't really grow up in Jersey. I was born there and then quickly I moved to Maryland.
Right, tax problems.
Right.
Of
You know,
course.
we had to run from somebody.
What? And then the anaconda, did you get it on the same day?
No, we got that later. That was my brother's. I didn't really like it that much.
The Navy SEAL got an anaconda?
Yeah.
That checks out.
And I remember one time when I was really young, I was at my dad's house by myself. I rode my bike there. My brother was like, "Well, while you're there, can you just check on the anaconda or something like that?" You know, it usually sits on like a heat rock or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was looking for
no,
it.
but yeah.
I couldn't find it. And what had happened, it had pushed its head, lifted the cage, and it was sitting on top of the cage, out of it, coiled up. And I just looked up, and it was in my face, and it kind of jumped at me, and just instant tears, just lost it, snapped at me, and I freaked the fuck out, and I called my brother, and then he came over. But it was terrifying. You're like, I'm up against the glass. I'm like, where is this fucking snake? And then it's in my face, coiled up.
It was like a 90s movie.
Yeah.
That's like Home Alone 7.
Yeah, really. If I was a robber and I had somehow planted the snake to do that to the robber, that's how it would have happened in the movie. But it was me. It was horrible.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the room off of that, if you could believe, my dad used to throw parties.
No.
Yeah.
They were just a room of ball gags.
Yes. Ball gags. And so the big showstopper during the party was he would break out a twister board. A twister.
The showstopper?
That was a fun, someone brings out twister, it's a fun time. You're drunk, right hand red, left foot blue.
Was your dad the type of guy that when he gets drunk puts his hand on the table and plays the knife roulette?
Not quite, no. He wouldn't do that, but if someone else wanted to, maybe would encourage it. I've never seen anybody do anything dangerous. It was more just scandalous and scantily clad sort of, people roaming around and stuff. So he would break out the twister board.
Okay.
And it got to a point where it's just like, well, we break this thing out every time, right? And we'd put it down on the carpet. So he was like, this was his brilliant idea. He goes, why don't we just spray paint a twister board into the carpet? And that's what he did.
Hold on.
I never told you this.
You had a permanent twister board spray painted into the floor of your house.
Minus the board, obviously, because you need to spin the dial. But
oh yeah, that's ridiculous.
It would make no sense.
That's stupid.
I do believe the board kind of you know how you'd have a little rack for your pool cues next to the pool table? There was a hook for the board.
You had a hook for a twister board for the twister platform that was spray painted into the floor of your house.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
you're like the Michael Jordan of trash. He builds a basketball court in his house, and you're like, I'll match that with twister.
Spray paint was a big part of our lives.
Where was your mom?
Oh, they were divorced at this point. They got divorced when I was 4. So this was all his doing. So he loved spray paint. So the basement, I'll get to the basement now.
And what frat did you have to rush to get into your family?
But honestly, if you can imagine being a little kid growing up in this kind of crazy, it was awesome.
No, that I understand. You're not at fault for any of this.
No, it was.
When
awesome.
you went to other people's houses,
I was like, what the
did
fuck
you
is
look
it?
around and you go, where's your twister?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where's your twister board? Where's your wall of guitars on the wall? He had a guitar wall, and then he glued picks, guitar picks, in between. So it was a very, that was the guitar wall, obviously.
No, of course, yeah.
Of course.
How people, it's a different trashy version of the deer head on the wall.
Yeah, exactly. It's for an artist. And so the basement.
How big was this house?
It was a 4-bedroom, but a not a today's 4-bedroom. I feel like when they make 4-bedroom houses now, it's a big house.
An old school 4-bedroom.
It's an old school, like small bedrooms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But our basement was unfinished. So like, concrete sort of floor and the concrete walls and everything. So it sort of was just like a storage area. You'd go down to the right, we'd have storage. And then to the left, it was kind of nothing. It at one point, it tried to be a gym, but nobody worked out. And
let's get one thing straight. The basement didn't try to do anything.
The basement was
right.
hanging on.
It tried to be. No.
This.
The basement was not at fault.
You're right. It was not the basement's fault, and what we did to it, it didn't deserve. So there was kind of like a staircase leading down, and like I guess it's not the ceiling of the staircase going down. It's kind of like 1, 2, and then I don't know how to describe it. I guess the ceiling. Like when you're walking down the steps, there was a ceiling with 2 walls.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So, my dad, he had a lot of hats that he just collected and kept over the years. So he hung. It was like a wall. The whole thing was hats going down, all different types of hats.
Okay.
Right? And then at the base of the stairs on the wall, he'd spray painted Boys Club. Let you take that in for a sec.
So your dad won the house in the divorce.
Yeah, she left.
Okay.
So he spray painted, Boys Club, and then if you go to the left, there was a long cement wall along the backside of the basement. It was cement, and he loved spray paint. So what we did at this point, we were really big into paintball, and so we spray painted different targets on the cement wall, and just used it as a paintball like target practice in our basement. And we just shot paintballs at the wall down there, and nobody ever thought about the cleanup. Right. But that's a part of it that we just didn't even touch or address for quite some time, and it got pretty gross down there. But there was a good month where it was fucking cool. Imagine bringing your friend over and you're like, you want to shoot paintballs in the basement? They're like, what? My dad can't even smoke in the house. He's got to go outside. You're shooting paintballs in the basement? This is insane. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah, your dad's not heartbroken, though, my man.
We're just,
come on over. Yeah.
Oh, man.
His dad comes over, you're shooting a real gun in the basement.
Keep it down there. Yeah, so we had, on that side, it was a paintball, and then on the other side, it was like the washer dryer, and then all... You had the washer dryer, obviously, and then all the dumb shit that he would collect that he thought would be valuable one day that wasn't.
Like what? Beanie Babies, definitely.
Well, we had Beanie Babies. We didn't hang on to Beanie Babies as long as we should have, because they're actually, I feel like if you had kept them,
Taylor,
certain ones.
Stop. Just shut up.
You gotta get in now.
Just shut up. Taylor, it's coming back out.
And Pokemon cards. No, he kept, like Wheaties boxes with Hank Aaron on them that were like still in the, I guess they used to be like wrapped in plastic wrap. And so we had,
what?
He had Wheaties boxes with like Hank Aaron, Tiger Woods, Cal Ripken, like anybody they put on a Wheaties box, he kept those. And then, when Hostess said they were going out of business,
I don't think they ever did.
No, they didn't, but they said they were. I was in college at the time, because I'll never forget. My dad called me, and he's like, you gotta find a box of Twinkies. He's like, I've been everywhere. They're sold out everywhere here. He's like, you gotta hit the stores to try and find a box of Twinkies, because they're gonna be gone. And I was like, okay. I just like wanted to.
It'd be great if you didn't talk to your dad for years before this call.
That was the first thing. That's how he broke the silence. Yeah. I'm sorry about everything.
Taylor, we can talk about the paintballing later. What I need you to do is to get some ho-hos.
Yeah, I mean, just think about that. I'm like studying, and he's like, you gotta go. I took a bus into town to go to the grocery store to try and find Twinkies. And he was right. They were all sold out. I went to like 3 different grocery stores trying to find these Twinkies. And eventually, and I think back then I just really didn't want to disappoint him. So I went online and was trying to buy them off the black market. I was trying to buy Twinkies online. And I paid probably 400%. I paid probably $40 for a box of Twinkies to have them shipped to his house. And he got them, and then he had those. He had the Hostess cake. Anything he could get his hands on Hostess, he bought some. And and then a few weeks later, they were like, "Oh, never mind, we're not going out of business." And he still kept them.
Well, they don't expire.
Yeah, they're pretty much the exact same, which is kind of scary.
Well, same thing with McDonald's.
Right.
Shout out to
exactly.
them. Doing God's work.
Kept the Hostess stuff. And then when Donnie T got in office, he was big into him. So, and he had a lot of merch.
You don't say.
You don't. Yeah.
Something tells me that your dad wasn't a Democrat.
Yeah, no.
Having Playboy, a Playboy themed bathroom.
Yeah. And you know what? The Donald probably would have been a fan.
Oh, he would have loved it.
He probably would have been.
He would have loved it.
He'd have been like, "This is great. I love what you've done with the place."
I like how the classiest thing in your house so far was in the Tupperware. That's the classiest thing about your whole house was the Tupperware food.
Yeah, it was great food. But yeah, that was the house. For a while, he drove I think it was a '69 cherry red Corvette.
He just told you it was 69.
Yeah, it was. I mean, no, I think it.
1984.
Yeah, no, I mean he fucking. It was like one of these things where he's. I don't think it ever touched rain. The car never touched rain. He never took it out in the rain, so it looked like the first day.
You had an empty garage?
Yeah, well, he had a daily driver that he parked in the driveway, and then in the drive he had that, and he had 2 motorcycles.
Your dad had a historical amount of porn laying around with iguanas and anacondas going all over the place. You're shooting paintballs in the basement.
Yeah.
But in his head, he said, we need to save some room in the garage.
Well, he was a big... It was the one thing he really took care of was his vehicles.
Well, it wasn't his kids.
No. In fact,
he
had his kids take care of the vehicles. I mean, one of my strongest memories is my grandmother had a house in Wildwood Crest, and it's sitting outside. The sun is going down, and we're outside my grandmother's house, and I'm waxing the spokes on his motorcycle. That's one of my earliest memories. Is me waxing the spokes. But it taught me hard work.
When did you start smoking?
I've never smoked a cigarette.
Bullshit! You grew up like this? You never smoked a cigarette?
No, I love cigars, but I've never smoked a cigarette. Luckily, I just didn't have friends. My dad never smoked. He didn't smoke cigarettes. My mom didn't smoke cigarettes. My mom was a health nut. None of my friends did, so I just didn't grow up around it. But I grew up around cigars, so I actually like the smell of cigars.
Okay.
And I like smoking those. Those are nice.
Did you drink as a child at these spray paint twister parties?
No, but it is where I had my first sip.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Smirnoff?
No, it was a beer. Yeah.
Oh.
It was a beer.
Okay.
I didn't like it. But yeah, but it wasn't the first time I got drunk. That was at some high school party or something.
Yeah.
You
can't do that at home.
Yeah, and I called my brother and I was like, "I'm drunk." He's like, "You're an idiot," and then he hung up on me.
Oh, that's good. That's nice. Yeah, was it him or his anaconda?
He's like, just don't drive, you fucking moron. Hung up on me. But yeah, that was the house that I grew up in. So a lot makes sense now that I think.
You're
about it.
so normal compared to that.
Oh,
compared to what you just told me.
I came out remarkably unscathed.
Yeah, now I understand why your brother wants to just murder everything in sight.
Well, it was actually a nice balance because, my mother's house obviously was not like that at all. My mom, I actually feel bad for.
How much time did you split between the two?
My mom got most of the custody.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thank Christ.
Yes, that's. Yeah, like so she was kind of, making sure we did the schoolwork and all that, making sure we were decent people. And then when I went to my dad's, I didn't see him. I think he got the first custody agreement. I think was like maybe one day during the week and then every other weekend or something like that. So when that weekend hit, we were doing something. We were hitting the beach. We were going to AC.
Yeah.
You're
going to AC?
Oh, yeah.
As a kid?
I've been to the Borgata more times than I can count. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Well, because my dad, he would like.
Didn't seem like a Borgata guy from what you're telling me.
No, I mean that was the only place he ever went was the Borgata.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
He's got a good taste in hotels.
Yeah. Well, because he would, we go to the Borgata and there's one bar. There's like a video poker bar that you can sit at and play poker. And if you're gambling, you drink for free.
Yes.
So you put $5 in the machine and you just milk that $5. You can get pretty hammered for not a lot of money.
Right.
So, and if you gamble just enough, and especially if you go during the week, they'll comp you a room. So
you went to the Borgata during the week?
Yeah.
During the school year?
Not all the time. Sometimes, but it was
not all the time. That means yes once. At least.
Yes, we have definitely done
what?
That. Yeah, but most of the time
from Maryland.
Yeah, it's not that far. I mean, it's
not close.
No, it's not. It was a trip, for sure.
During the week.
Yeah, I mean, that probably only happened. That didn't happen a ton. My dad went during the week by himself a lot.
Well, of course.
A lot. When in his office at work, he used to have he'd print out this giant calendar the size of the fucking wall because he would just write everything. And every month there would just be a giant there would be a couple days just with an arrow and just says AC. So he blocked. It was either AC or Lauderdale.
So much longer than AC.
Yeah. But he would do. Yeah, every couple weeks I feel like he would take a short trip to Fort Lauderdale. That's partially where I spread his ashes. That's what he wanted. So
what?
Half.
Okay, yeah. Explain how he wanted this.
So in the, you're gonna die. So half.
I'm so nervous.
So half of them we spread in Wildwood, which is where we grew up. Going, my grandmother had a house there, and it's where we went there. So half is there, and then the other half is in Fort Lauderdale. In the will, it said in front of the spot, which was the beach directly in front of the Hooters.
No, yeah. Taylor,
directly in front of the Hooters.
Taylor, no.
The beach.
In your dad's will, were there quotes around the spot?
Let me.
You took a picture of the will?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's in my files because I was the executor, so I had to handle all the bullshit. Yeah, let that download for a second.
Taylor, you a part of your dad's dying wishes.
All right, if anybody in my family doesn't want me to, I'm sorry, but it's for comedy. So it says I direct my remains to be equally spread in the two locations, the Jersey Shore and quote the spot quote in Fort Lauderdale Beach, and I knew what that meant.
And you knew what that meant.
I knew what that meant.
You grew up knowing
that's the spot.
Your dad told you when I die, what the spot is between the beach and Hooters.
100%. It was on the beach. So it's the beach direct, because that's where he would sit. Because there's a, you can watch a live cam. This is true. I broke Rich. You can watch live cams of the beach if you pull it up. There was a live cam directly in front of Hooters. So
no, I think your dad installed that camera.
So he could sit there and wave at the camera, and then of course go into Hooters. That was another thing I did a lot of. I've been to a lot of Hooters. Yeah,
that was how you ate all your food growing up. Your dad built the Hooters into his house.
It was a lot of. which I feel like they're kind of dying out, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah, because people like your dad aren't around anymore.
I mean, it was a big part of the clientele. But I literally read an article that was like Hooters, the up and coming generation. They're just like, I think it was like they don't care about tits as much.
I read that article too.
Yeah.
Well, I saw the headline.
Yeah, I was just like, I gotta see. What do you mean they don't care about tits?
I didn't bury my father for kids not to care about tits.
Oh, if they remove the Hooters in front of it's gonna be.
Your dad's gonna haunt you.
It's gonna be a bad time.
He's gonna haunt whatever moves in there.
Yeah,
just gonna be a ghost. Show me your tits.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to a bachelor party in Miami, but it was a friend. It was my ex's good friend. You know, my ex's friend was getting married, but I was invited to the bachelor party. But then when we split, it felt weird to go to the bachelor party, so I didn't go. But I was gonna go to Miami, and I was gonna rent a car and drive up to Lauderdale to go to the spot because I hadn't been back since, and I didn't get to do that. So I hope it's still there because I do want to go back and just, I don't know, crack a beer on the beach or something. I think that'd be nice, you know.
I don't.
If I just pulled out a beach chair, cracked open a Playboy, like on the spot, that would make me feel really good to do that. So it could still happen. I don't know how to react to that. I don't know how to react to that. Because you'd fit in is the problem. Oh yeah, I mean, whether I want to or not, I'm slowly becoming my dad, 100%. I mean, I passed by a Tommy Bahama shirt the other day, and I was like, not bad, kind of nice.
They are nice.
They are nice.
They are nice, yeah.
But 7-8 years ago, I wouldn't be caught dead in a Tommy Bahama shirt. But I tried one on. I was like, this feels kind of good.
You nice. Tried one on?
Yeah, I was in Macy's, and I was like, I mean, I knew that's like.
You went to Macy's recently?
Yeah, I go there sometimes.
The one in Herald Square?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got a lot of it's got good stuff.
I'm sure there's a lot of people in that one.
Yeah.
It's the original.
Yeah, I like shopping in places where there's a shit ton of people because
you can steal.
Well, you can, but not because of that. Just because you're less likely to be bothered by the associates. You ever walk into a store and you're the only one in there? They hound you.
Yes.
But if you go into a Macy's during Christmas time, you're pretty much invisible, which I kind of like.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just blend right in.
You're just scooting around.
Yeah, I can look at stuff and nobody's fucking. But the employees are running around with their heads cut off trying to find a 3430, for some asshole.
Right.
And you get to just do your thing. So.
I don't know, Taylor.
I know I threw a lot at you.
You threw so much at me. One thing I would hope your dad did. Yeah. For some reason that sounded wrong. He would invite women up in the Borgata to his room. He's like, "You want to go into my room? I got a spray painted Twister."
Just had a suite ready for him. Well, it was kind of.
But he could wash it away after.
It was. Growing up when you would go to the Borgata, obviously there's a lot you don't share with your children because they're young. But as I got older, we started to have I would ask him more questions because I was just curious. Because he was a very guarded guy. He didn't share a ton, but if I asked, he would tell me. And I remember.
He's bashful.
Well, I would just ask a question and then you're shocked by that. You're like, oh, I didn't know. I don't know if I wanted to know that. But he was telling me this one time about how he was at the Borgata and he got a hooker, and he just
what?
He got a hooker at the Borgata, and he just kind of said that, and it was the first time I had had heard that knowledge and had that image and all that stuff, and I remember what time of year because I was like. A hooker? I was like, you got a hooker? And he goes, yeah, we were smoking a cigar. And he goes, yeah, I had a hooker on Easter. Just kept smoking the cigar. I was like, wait, What? Isn't that fantastic?
The crazy part about that story is it was on Easter.
It was. I mean, I thought so.
Not that your dad's telling you he got a hooker.
Well, that was. There were many levels of the shock in there. Well, because he was getting older, and like there's certain holidays where like, oh, I'm with my mom's family at Thanksgiving, and my dad didn't really have like his side of the family just wasn't close to. So I would think a lot about like, what is he doing? And in the last like 10 years, he actually would come to a lot of because my mom's side of the family, like everybody still loved him, and my mom and him had a great relationship once they split. And so it wasn't weird that he would come to family stuff. But for a while, like holidays where you didn't like celebrate as a family, like Easter, where I'm still with my mom, it's like, what are you doing on Easter? And that's what he was doing. He was, and I remember he told a story. He was, he had this hooker or whatever, and he was with a buddy at the time, and they were downstairs. It was like during the day, and they're at a blackjack table or a roulette table or something like that. And that hooker was walking around the floor and spotted him and came up and was just started, just being a lot at the table, kind of making a scene and trying to, pull him away from the table again. He's like, no, blah, 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 blah. And he's with his friend, and she was like, come on. She was like, she said, like, I'll do the both of you for like, whatever, 300 or something like that. And my dad was like, I gave you 500 last night. Like, just for me, like 300 for the two. This is Mom, if you're listening, shut off now.
Wait, were you there?
No, I wasn't there. He was telling me this story about him price haggling a hooker at a blackjack table. So he's telling me the story, and I'm like, he's like, well, that's obscene. I paid 500 last night. She's saying 300 for the. I'm like, yeah, your hands were tied. What could you do? You had to put your foot down. I mean, that's absurd.
I like how your dad approached hookers like all other dads talked about produce.
Yeah, like it was a used car or something.
Like, I was just at the store the other day. Bananas were $2, and all of a sudden they're $4.50. What the hell we got going on over
there?
here?
Yeah, he's weighing them in the bag. You don't weigh them in the bag. You weigh the produce outside the bag, then you put them in the bag.
I just gave you $2 last night. What are we doing?
Pretty much. Knew how to get a deal, I guess. And I carry those lessons with me. So yeah, but that is one area of his life, I will say, where I don't. That never grabbed me. In fact, I was seeing a show at Borgata. I got tickets as a gift to go to Borgata, and we stayed there. And my dad, always what he would do is he'd get $100, put it on roulette, because it's the best odds. It's 50-50. And a lot of times he would win, and then he would like walk away. And so I was like, you know what? For Pops, I'm gonna do that. And I put $100 on red, immediately lost it. And I was like, okay, double or nothing. $100 on red, lost it again. I'm like, let's take a break. So we went, got something to eat, had a drink, played a hand of this, slot of this, and then the night is ending. We're coming back, we're passing the roulette table. I'm like, here we go, baby. One more $100 on red. Lost it. And I was like, okay. And I took that as a sign. That was him saying to me, this ain't for you. This ain't for you.
Okay.
And just keep walking. And then that night, I'm walking back we're going back to the hotel, and I walked past his best friend was at the Borgata, just happened to be at the Borgata, and I ran into him.
I have a feeling his best friend
was there a lot.
Yeah,
he did live in Brigantine, which is the town over, but that's besides the point.
Okay.
But I just saw, and I'm not a woo-woo spiritual like whatever, but I was like, that is weird that I ran into him at the Borgata. And,
I thought you were going to say I ran into the
hooker.
prostitute.
I ran into and I was like, Daphne? What are you doing here? Don't you try to price gouge me, inflation my ass.
Yeah, $300 for the both of us. I know.
I know the prices.
I know.
I know the prices. Oh, man.
Oh, you saw your dad.
Are you kidding me?
He's like, the jig's up.
You got me.
I've been alive the whole time.
Shit. Fuck. I didn't think you'd be back.
I didn't do the taxes in Maryland either. I didn't know what state to go to.
I'm sorry. Oh, God. I thought you were at the spot.
I tried to throw you off. I thought you were in Lauderdale.
If you're here, what did I spread on the beach?
That was the iguanas. The iguanas are at the beach.
God, Iggy, Godzilla. Fuck. Oh, my God.
Okay. I was going to ask you if you liked extra mayo on sandwiches. That's what I was going to ask.
If this podcast was Are You Garbage, I think we've come to an answer. It was it.
People always ask me what episode to listen to of this. I always tell them episode 78 or 76 with Hardy describing his life.
Yeah.
You might have beat him. This is
I'm gonna
by
listen to that
far.
episode now.
Yeah, listen to that. That's pretty crazy.
That's a good one.
This is by far the most preposterous series of events I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I have a dream of like somehow turning it into like a one-man show one day, all about like my dad and just the shit I went through growing up, and but once I'm more mature and talented, I'll learn how to do that.
You would need to hire a lot of stage techs.
Yeah.
Because that design.
Yeah, pyrotechnics. Well, it wouldn't cost you too much because it's all spray paint.
That's true. That's true. Well, the Playboy magazines are going to be a lot.
But yeah. That's you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to find somebody who's a collector and rent those out. I assume.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I wonder if there's a guy who rents out his Playboys for like movies or something like that.
Well, could have been you.
Maybe it could have been. Could have been.
Could have been you.
That's my Airbnb.
That's right. And yeah, I'm renting out my Playboys for the month.
I rent out my Playboys for Scorsese's doing a movie.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you can donate them to a library. So.
Right. Yeah. I don't think. No, they couldn't end up there. No. Sadly, they're probably gone now. But
hopefully, Jesus. All right, we did it.
Yeah.
It won't be the most listened to episode, but God, should it be?
Yeah. Share and
like and subscribe.
Spread the gospel. Thanks, everybody.
Yarish.